Welcome back to Soda City Live. Lizard's Thicket is gearing up to celebrate 45 years of country cooking. Meeting three, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So the local chain opened its first location in Columbia and then expanded across the state. Joining me today is head of restaurant operations, Robert Williams. We're looking at the restaurant's history and getting some tips on making the perfect macaroni and cheese, which I have to say, next to the steamed veggies, that is like my favorite thing, and the fried okra. Okay, there's so many things good at Lizard's Thicket. When I first came to town, my news director then picked me up at the airport. We drove by, and there was a Lizard's Thicket. And, of course, the number one question I had was, what does Lizard's Thicket mean? For those who don't know, tell them the history.
So the meaning is, it's a southern term. Lizards live in a thicket, so it's a congregating point, a place to come together. My grandfather was going to name it after my grandmother, and it was going to be Anna's Country Kitchen. They had an issue getting it down for the business license, so Lizard's Thicket popped in his head. And it stuck. So,
and everybody knows. In fact, like at our household, it's, hey, we're going to the Thicket, you know, there in Blythewood. So you guys have 13
restaurants right now.
13 restaurants now. Opening another one this.
Hopefully by the end of the year on Highway 6 at Red Bank.
And you guys, 45 years. Talk about that history. It's just, you're a little older than the restaurants, right?
Yes, I'm 46.
And this is all you've known.
Pretty much, yeah. We lived about a mile and a half behind the first restaurant. It was a house with no windows, a 5-room house, and it started across from Sled on Broad River Road, and so really the law enforcement was a big backer for us early on. So, and we slowly grew, kind of like a hermit crab. We'd buy existing buildings and grow, and now we're building them from the ground up. And
is the whole family involved in this?
My dad and his 3 brothers. There's 4 of that generation involved. And there's 4 in my generation of 24 first cousins, so there's 4 of us involved at this point.
What is it that you guys think so many people love about Lizard's Thicket? It is the delicious country cooking, but it's also the big chalkboard when you walk in.
Yeah, I think it provides a little bit of a community there for people to come in and see people they know and be greeted friendly in a southern way. And each one has its own little community in it. So,
it does.
Everybody, like you said, calls it their thicket.
Right.
And you know, it's interesting to hear which ones they love and get the feedback. But
have you guys been serving this macaroni and cheese or this recipe for all of those 45 years?
Since day one, and we're still doing things the same way we did them from the beginning. So it's in its simplicity is what makes it good. And I think food gets very fussy these days, but there's something about having that same thing you had with your parents, your grandparents, and that comfort. I know the first thing when we go out of town and come back, I want to go and have some fried chicken and macaroni and green beans and the stuff that we grew up on.
I know you can't give us the exact recipe because it is, you know, the Lizard's Thicket mac and cheese, but what is one secret you would give us, one tip in making mac and cheese?
Well, anything you cook, you have to cook with love. You can't make angry food, so that's always important. But good quality ingredients. We cook our noodles in-house. We use a local dairy farmer, Hickory Hill, out of
somewhere
blank and but Edgefield.
Yeah.
And so they're a local dairy farm, and we use real Wisconsin cheddar. So I mean, it's really milk, salt, white pepper, butter.
It's so good.
And
you've got these great cups, these mugs, 45 Lizard's Thicket to celebrate the 45 years of your family tradition. These are for sale. $10 only. And what does the money go toward?
We're putting it some local charities. We try to spotlight in our commercial the charities that we support in the community. So the proceeds of this are being split between Epworth Children's Home, the Cooperative Ministry, and Camp Cole, are 3 that are close and near and dear to our heart.
Well, that's wonderful. You know, you guys have been such a strong group, stately group throughout the state for so long. I mean, 45 years, you know. I assume this just goes for another 45 and beyond.
Well, I'm the oldest of the 3rd generation. They say the 3rd generation messes it up. So we can only hope and pray that we're here that long. Villa Tronco is also our family. My grandmother was a Tronco, and they're at 80 years now. So something in the blood has worked out to, it goes to treating people well and building a sense of community inside your restaurant. And, and that's important. And
I will say, there is a sense of community there. The Lizard's Thicket on Elmwood, I love when I see some of the same people there, and of course the one in Blythewood near me. I love that too. I know there's a dear man, he's a widower, and he goes every morning for his breakfast because that's his family, the staff there at Lizard's Thicket. What are your top 3 foods that you sell?
Well, macaroni is the number one vegetable fried chicken
Vegetable.
is
Yeah, I
up
like
there. And then fried okra is extremely popular. So those are three big ones. Green beans, of course.
Yeah, well, Robert, you guys are doing great things there. It's neat to kind of see the history of it and to know the future of it. And again, if you would like one of these cups, can they just pick these up at
Yeah,
any
all
of
the restaurants are selling them right now for the month of January. They're pushing them at the stores because we want to support the charities.
Thank you for doing that, for being such a great supporter of so many community events. I'm amazed at all the times I'm doing public speaking and doing appearances at places. It's like Lizard's Thicket.
Well, the Midlands has been great to our family, and we have grown with the community. So we're always happy to give back and support the people that support us.
Thank you. Appreciate you. And congratulations on 45 years of such a great restaurant.
Thank you.
Appreciate Lizard's Thicket. More Soda City Live right after this.